The following presentation may contain language unsuitable for children's TV enthusiasts, adult virgins, and estranged mothers. Unnamed Drag Productions accepts no responsibility for any resulting night terrors, third-degree burns, or demonic possessions that may transpire as a result of listening to this sewage sprinkler. May God have mercy on your soul. Enjoy!
Unnamed Drag Podcast.
Hi, hello, welcome to Babe Station featuring Marilyn's even bigger breasts.
Yeah, I had to get bigger breasts.
You really didn't.
You really did.
You really didn't need to get any bigger breasts.
But the first one gave me...
Excuse me, can I just say, I'm so glad that you did.
Oh, do you know what I mean? The first ones gave me a taste of power, and I was like, I want more.
Mm-hmm. Can we
I'm taking the dog.
Can we have a side view? Like, how much do they just like jut out? Oh, wow. Hey there, Jessica Rabbit.
Cock destroyer. Is it cold in here or is it just my nipples?
Whereas I'm a fucking frock destroyer in this absolute patchwork nightmare.
Yes, you look like every hanky I've ever thrown up in.
I know. I was just like, I'm just going to go and do the dishes. And you're like, who's the dishes? And I'm like, no, just the dishes. My life is very sad.
You're doing my dishes.
Yeah, and reading to your children because you literally look like Karen Walker.
This is a pint of gin.
Yeah, exactly. Next, you say you never heard me talk about my sister, Ginny. I can't live a day without gin.
This is the problem as well. We both got in drag today, and yesterday we were like, we're not going to make an effort. We're not going to try. Like, it's just going to be quick drag. And then I started doing it, and I was like, I mean, that's the problem. Like, we can't just film a podcast and do quick drag because I just and look who's taking it seriously.
And it's like, look who started to try. That's exactly what it is. Because once I'd put on these brows and I was like, oh, that went really well today. Oh, maybe I'll just. And then the next thing I knew, I was like putting on this hair. Hello, we're preposterous and disgusting, but thank you, as always, everyone who puts up with us here at the Unnamed Drag Podcast.
If you want to encourage us further, there is a PayPal link in the description.
We do love a good
where you can tip my breasts.
Tip those breasts.
Tip those tips.
You're so disgusting.
How are you anyway? How have you been?
Do you know what? I've been quite lovely, but quite stressed recently, if that makes sense. Like
just stressed at the amount of dicks flying at your face. Like,
I do have my rather lovely bag of dicks earrings that we got given in our
so fantastic.
In our
fucking cool.
Our VD care packages, which didn't contain any condoms. Rude. People want to fuck us. How dare you?
Us?
Do they really want that? I mean,
is anyone queuing up?
This is the trade wig from now on for me, definitely. Like this is going to be my rootin' wig. Because watch.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, that hair's moving around. They won't even notice you're texting.
See how she bounces? I said, like, I'm going to do the wacky Shirley. I'm going to sit on your face and read my tweets.
The wacky Shirley.
I wish I could take credit for that, but it's Amy Schumer. Anyway.
This is the first time I've glued down lace in years as well. Like, I tried today.
How does it feel?
Oh, awful. I laughed and something started peeling and I was like, my effort's showing.
Oh, well, that's good because I'm not very funny. So you'll be fine.
Yeah. That's fine, then.
But what was I saying? I've just got like somehow, and I'm doing that thing again where like I don't want to be a bitch about it and I don't want to piss and moan, but you know that's my staple diet.
That's all you're good for.
I can't help myself. I don't want to ever seem ungrateful when I'm busy, but when I am busy, I'm like, can't I just do nothing?
Yeah. So I just realized I forgot to paint my thumb.
Oh my God, you gross man pig.
Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain.
You man bear pig, how dare you?
Dare you.
But I'm always really fortunate, like, we got that private bingo booking that we sort of forgot about until the last minute. No,
we didn't. Shut up.
Professional women. I've just taken on, like, a new project, but fortunately one project, this is writing stuff. Thank you for breast. The writing project that I'm doing at the moment, it comes to a close soon, but then another one kind of kicks off and I'm a bit like, how many more Zoom workshops can I prepare for weekly? I mean, these glasses suggest that I'm smart or Deirdre Barlow, but in actual fact, I'm quite dumb.
You know what I love though? Every time you're like, oh, I feel really underprepared. I'm like, bitch, we have hosted thousands of shows and never once
have we prepared anything?
Ever.
We've just,
and you're like, oh no, why this time I'm unprepared? I'm like, this time? Now? We've just turned up every time as a pig in a wig and a mess in a dress or a hog in a clog and just got on with it. Yeah. Tash with a tash and a bitch with tits.
That's the new brand.
New dynamic.
So
hi, I'm Marilyn Taylor. These are my breasts.
I was going to say to tell me how you're doing, but I sort of feel like I already know the answer.
Just great, baby.
Just so good.
Life update. So since the last podcast, I've started my new job.
Oh, God.
I'm in a whole new job. I've started a whole new job from this room. And it's going really well. The team's really nice. My boss is wonderful. The person who I'm buddying with, Amy, is a fucking babe, but she's going on maternity leave in April, and she's like, better learn quick.
Yeah, that's it though. Do you remember what I was saying to you though, that like any new job on average, it'll normally take you like 3 months to kind of be able to do it, and then 6 months to feel confident that you genuinely know what it is that you actually meant to do.
Totally. I mean, I'm not like terrified. Like I say, the team's really nice, and you're never going to be able to predict everything. So it's just taking it as it comes.
Just take every experience that you've ever had from like a drag show and just try and apply it to everyday life, i.e. get drunk and that's it.
Someone's like, what do we do with this contract? I'm like, blend.
Contour it.
Is it tits? Please let it be tits.
Is the answer breasts?
That's all I have.
In Italy. I wonder
if the answer a double stack and some breasts.
I just really want them to, like, to turn you into just the wettest, dumbest slut, like more so than you already are. Like just exactly.
Yeah, that's all I do. That's all I do day to day at work. Just
oh, the wow! So you're just playing with your tits and drooling.
Yeah, sorry. Anyway.
So anyway,
that's how I've been.
That's wonderful. But do you know what's really kind of bad about this month? And I feel a little bit shitty for it. Obviously, my existence is terrible. But it has, of course, been LGBTQ History Month. And, like, we haven't been able to really, like, do anything for it. And I haven't done anything for it on, like, a personal level either. Because, again, business and busy and crying myself to sleep every night. It takes up a lot of time.
Absolutely. As you know. Yeah.
So we thought that today, to honour the month, which is literally about to end because it's the 28th, just like Indiana Jones, just sliding under the wig,
grabbing my wig, sticking it on and going, yeah, we did a thing.
To the side. We thought that we would just talk about like queer stuff.
Yeah. Let's talk. Are you gay?
Are you gay?
Are you gay?
I always like to ask a man when I first meet him if he's gay. That's it. That's the thumbnail. It's just like that. With your tits in the shot as well.
Are you gay?
Are you gay? Anyway.
Is he gay in here? Or is it just my nipples? Yeah.
The gayness is the nipples of the eyes. So,
which is a quote from House Bunny, by the way.
Absolutely. So no idea really what that's about. But yeah, Marilyn, queer stuff, gay stuff. So how are you doing without your queer community around you is going to be my first question, because it's been a fucking hot minute.
Yeah, it's been a lot. I mean, fortunately, we've been able to do gigs and be online and stuff like that. But I just, at this time, if you're like a young queerling just finding themselves, going out to bars and stuff was kind of how we did that.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's like, can you do that on Reddit?
I mean, I'm kind of just, you know me, I'm a big old internet junkie. Like, I'm gobbling it all up all the time, but I am
like most things.
Yeah, absolutely. Tofu, internet, dick.
bread, more bread. Please have bread.
But yeah, the whole kind of problem with it at the moment is it's just becoming so freaking like toxic and ad heavy, and like we all know that like
everyone's on it all the time.
Like social media, the pandemic has made social media like even worse than usual. So like that kind of sense of queer community isn't even like purely channeled into social media. It's just all like muddied and rancid and disgusting. Whereas at least when you were just like out there in the real community, not the virtual one, it was a little bit more easy to know like someone was calling you a bitch behind your back.
I'll call you a bitch to your face. It's pretty.
Well, exactly. You're a bitch, and I love you.
Bitch. Oh. But yeah, no, exactly.
And I was going to say, sorry, just quickly, just let me finish this thought. I know people who would literally, like, young queerlings who just moved out into like the great big wide world, like for themselves, and got a place on their own, thinking like, I'm here now in a city.
Yeah. I've just got off the bus, filled my asshole with cum.
And then boom, pandemic. And now they're like trying to find some kind of community, like virtually, whilst being fucking isolated in a city.
Yeah.
That's the most, like, that breaks my heart. That's horrendous. Like, moving to a place specifically for its queer community and then, like, being this close to it, but not being able to get to it.
Yeah.
It's heartbreaking.
Yeah. That is troubling. I think I definitely would struggle. I think, here's the thing. So, obviously, as queer people, we treasure our queer spaces and then we develop in those queer spaces. But those queer spaces, very often, if not consistently all the time, are bars, clubs, nightclubs, those kind of things, or traditionally have been. I know it's diversifying more.
There might have been like a lesbian cafe somewhere at one point. I
remember being like 16, being like, I am a gay man. I know I'm a gay man. I want to meet other gay people, but I can't because every gay space is 18 plus. I was like, wouldn't it be great if there was like a gay cafe or something like that? And also, like, when the problem is, as you know, I love a drink.
Gas!
Well, I know, right? But I remember hearing, I can't remember, it was that gay comedian, I can't remember his name, sorry. But he was saying that, do I have a drinking problem? Because I drink a lot, but everyone I hang out with also drinks a lot. So none of us really know the judging mark of whether or not we have a problem. Yeah. Especially because the only place that we can hang out is places where we drink.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. But maybe, like, I'm not saying it's a good thing. No. I'm just saying that removing the alcohol from the equation might enlighten some people.
Oh, I don't know. I love to get drunk and get in those comments.
I'm shit canned right now.
But it's just it's really, really just crazy to me to like try and think about just LGBTQ plus history when this has been such a difficult like time for LGBTQ people because I mean just think of all the flip side this, I suppose. A lot of people have had a great time in lockdown because they've just had like complete freedom of expression because they're just like, well, I don't need to go to work, so I don't need to worry about like covering up my nail polish. Or do you know what I mean? Like
I get public transport to work in an office, so every day I'm kind of like mentally checking myself, like, do I look visibly queer? I want to look visibly queer to my friends and colleagues, but am I going to get like heckled on the bus? Am I taking
heckled? Boo! Get off the
stage! You suck!
Tell a joke.
Booing continues. Booing intensifies. Yeah. So that is like a daily worry. And then like now, you know what I've started doing while I'm working from home? If I feel like I'm sat like slumping too much, I'll put a corset on.
Corset in the bra.
I'm sat Violet Chachki cinched like on a meeting, no one can see, no one knows. I put heels on the other day just because I wanted to feel fancy.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, and that's been wonderful. I mean, bought a day dress.
That is the extent of kind of your fanciness in lockdown, isn't it? When you just like wake up one morning and go, oh, maybe I don't want my pussy to be complete garbage today. I'm going to wear a nice outfit and maybe some like liner.
I'm going to wear some clean joggers.
Yeah, I'm going to turn my jocks around the right way.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so like it's been kind of a breath of fresh air for me.
Yeah, exactly, because you don't have any kind of external pressure because you're just like cocooned. But then my also kind of like terrifying thought is, what of the people who the only time they get to express themselves because they're outside of like their family nest or whatever is when they get to go out and party?
I know.
Do they just have to sit around in like khakis and a polo shirt just like, oh my God, I want to wear my harness so hard right now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I'm wearing a jock under my khakis just so that I feel something.
Yeah. And the pastor loves it.
I shouldn't laugh because I bet it's true.
But that happens. Yeah, totally.
Like that's fucking frightening and horrendous and terrible and batshit. Yeah. And I don't know.
Where do those people go during the pandemic? Is there an online forum for that? Like, I mean, there is. The thing is, it's better than when we were two ink kids. Because like we had like MySpace.
Mm-hmm.
And like the only queer reference that we had was like, I don't know, Chris Crocker and Jeffree Star. Like,
ew,
do you know what I mean?
Not great.
Yeah.
Problematic at best. Yeah.
Yeah. So like now at least there's gays on TV that aren't just dying.
Well,
like,
oddly enough, I have been, because obviously one of the things that I've been doing, my own little personal stories, because I've got these marigold gloves on, everything, and because it's gay stuff, I'm closing car boot doors just constantly. Slam! So, because obviously one of the things that I've been doing a lot in lockdown, love the press, make it work.
Thank you.
I've been writing a lot, and I'm like trying to finish a full fucking novel at the moment, which I've never ever done before. But one of the characters is like gay, and it's interesting because I've like set it 20 years ago because like I couldn't be asked for every 5 minutes someone to be like, and then I picked out my iPhone. I was just like, I don't want any of that in this book. I can't be bothered. No Instagram, no Twitter, no nothing. Face parties in it though.
Ooh.
I know, right?
That's what my uncle used to call me.
Face party. Did he have the t-shirt, sit on my face and party? But when I put face party in there,
why did I pick today of all days
to turn it
this
hard? Can I just finish what I'm saying? I won't be very long, I promise. It's interesting going back to that time because the age that the character is, it would make them like when I was 14 and 15, like in the same era, you know, like the 1800s.
Yeah.
So what
was Jesus like?
Oh my God, so fat.
Can you imagine?
Those abs.
I went back, I met Jesus. Fat as fuck.
Fat fuck. Big, blubbery rolls like...
Thick, sexy bastard. Yeah, proper dad bod, sexy bitch.
That six-pack is bullshit. He is a bubbly, chubby bear, and I live.
He took that fish, that loaf, multiplied it, ate the whole thing.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, get down off that cross and make me cross. Anyway. So
I'm get between those hot cross buns.
I'll resurrect you after 3 days. Like, that just makes it sound like you're really bad at sex.
Yeah. Call me in 3 days, see if it's developed.
It took me 3 days to make him rise. Jesus. Take some Viagra, for God's sake.
Oh, Jesus.
So, Jesus, take the wheel. Let me finish this. Let me finish this thought. Going back in time and remembering what it was like to be that age and be like, I'm so desperately lonely and horny. What do I do with all of that? I'll tell you what you do. You go on msnchat.com and you pretend that you're 18, 19 years old and you talk anonymously to some men that are like 36.
People.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Did you ever do that?
You talk to anyone that's... Well, I didn't...
Are you Sherry Pie?
Like, that's so gross and offensive. Don't even say that to me. That's so rude. Also, no, my eyebrows are like up here. Up here and made of... sin. So
the worst part is she was really fashionable.
I mean, I did enjoy her aesthetically, but when you find out that she's rotten to the core,
it's not worth it.
And deeply psychologically troubled. Anyway,
who isn't?
But no, there was no like digital camera or whatever. How's this for LGBTQ history? I was like,
ASL, cam to cam. That's LGBTQ history.
That's exactly what it is. But I didn't have a digital camera. I was like 14, 15. It was like, the dawn of time. They weren't readily
you're
available.
getting your mum to sketch you a dick pic.
So you just have to like describe what you looked like very vaguely, but these guys are already just like about it. You just have to say, I'm 18 and I have brown hair, and they'd be like, oh, I bet you're so hot.
What do you look like, Brent Corrigan? No,
I bet you're so fit. I'd be like, who do you look like? And at the time I'd be like, Robert Smith, but I'm not going to tell them that, am I? I look like Robert Smith from The Cure.
Who do you look like? Do you know if Gollum gained a lot of weight? That. Yeah.
You're so fucking rude to me. Like, I look like the back of Dawn French when she's doing a handstand. Like, that's what I look like.
You know that one orc? The one orc with the false eyelashes? Me. Yeah.
You know that girl gremlin? So anyway, injecting all
I have the face of a seagull with the body of an octopus.
Injecting all of that into what I'm writing in the morning is very interesting and very cathartic, going back to that time of remembering being like a young queer person where I couldn't just like lie about my date of birth and download Grindr. Do you know what I mean? Like, I had to work for it.
Yeah, that's it. Like, I've been in a relationship for a good long time.
About
So I only had
40
like
years, 42
yeah.
years.
So I only had like a brief interaction with Grindr. Obviously, I download it every now and again just to see what it's about.
Yeah, just listen. You're married, not buried.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? But like, yeah, growing up with that must be a thing.
The kids,
Like that at your fingertips?
the kids these days, they're growing up with fucking Instagram, TikTok, like to kind of completely jade themselves about what a perception of reality is, and then they've got Grindr and Scruff to completely jade the perception of what dating is.
Yeah.
Like, it's a nut. I mean, obviously, we can only speak about the queer. Our perspective, because there's like a whole load of stuff going under that umbrella. Stop looking at yourself and listen to me. For the...
Look at this hair. Look at this fucking hair.
Listen, Johnny Walker, Karen Walker. Listen, I can throw as many stones as I want from my ass house today.
Thing is, neither of us can turn around.
No, we cannot. But also, I need to be careful with how much I move my hands because, like, I've got that.
You're gonna fart.
Yeah, I've got that lovely, like. Oh, it's not doing it now. I must have squeezed it all out.
It's okay, just cross your legs.
Anyway. So yeah, we can't speak from anyone else's like lived experience. I don't want to imagine what like Leslie Beans were doing that were my age at the time. But to be honest, what Leslie Beans were doing was just like getting with any other girl because once there was some white wine or some cider involved, it was just like a make-out party at my
Well, do you remember being at school and like there'd be like one of the in my case anyway, there was one other gay kid. So we fucked. Like, but only because like we were each other's only option. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, that's so sad.
You'll do. Yeah.
Were you just like, oh, I can't believe I'm sucking this guy's dick, and he's looking down like, oh, I can't believe that he's sucking my dick.
I got that on the end.
Like you could just about stomach doing it.
I guess.
I suppose, like, to be fair though, like every person in my social group that was like, bi or bi-curious, like I fooled around with them, of course I did.
Yeah, of course you did.
And that's gay history.
Yeah. That's it though. Well, like obviously we can only speak to like gay history, but like also I don't know if this is a better or worse time to start drag because like the bedroom queens have the power. Do you know what I mean?
Sure.
The bedroom queens, the TikTok queens.
People are doing their first gig on Zoom.
Yeah.
Like totally. Their first time in front of a live audience is I've noticed, like, virtual.
Yeah. And there's a lot of people who are like starting right now because it's a fucking great hobby. Like, and they've got the time.
Does she have the time?
Does she have the time?
No. I get that, but again, it's
hate new people.
There's been a little bit of a boom recently, hasn't there? I don't hate new people. I just don't want them to come anywhere near any of my work.
Yeah, that's fair. But also, okay,
what's that? Starting up a drag bingo night? That's fun. Good for you.
Shut up. It's not like we invented it.
We didn't invent it, but Nottingham's a small city, so I'm always just like my livelihood.
That's fair, but also like. I was around before you were around. Like,
no, exactly.
There was queens
and thank
around
God you found me before
boom.
A cult did.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? Before the RuPaul baby boom. And then I remember the RuPaul baby boom kind of happening and the older queens being like, I hate it. I don't like this. Why does everyone want to look like a girl? Bleh. And like,
I want to look like a bloke who just so happens to be wearing a wig.
Yeah, like drag, I don't know, like UK drag especially, there was Obviously, I can't speak for everyone, but in my circle, it was very like, I don't know, miners' welfare drag kind of thing. You know what I mean?
We're just like working man's club.
Yeah, like a wig, a sparkly frock, and some lashes.
Here comes Deborah Dick Slurp, and she's going to sing a song about like taking it in the. I don't know, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get
Grab
it.
your ankles, like, no babies.
But I absolutely love that drag.
Me too.
I love that drag and I adore that drag. And it's the kind of stuff that I grew up seeing on television and enjoying. Yeah, exactly. Because the problem is now... Hold on now 1 second, please.
Okay, so you get to finish your story? Cool.
No, I'm just going to jump in and say something that I know...
To be fair, it wasn't a story. I'm done.
I know that you agree with this. See too many girls who look sensational, but then they've brought nothing else.
Don't do nothing.
They brought nothing else to the party, and then they get really defensive when they get called out on the fact that like, well, it's
so
like
they can't do anything.
Well, what else do you do? And it's just like, I'm a dancer, and he's just like, you can do the Macarena at double speed. That's not a dance.
Gay Macarena, like fuck off.
Yeah, exactly. We can all do the windmill with one arm. Like, anyone can.
Cha-cha-cha-cha, windmill, donkey kick, death drop.
It's really, well, I don't know about death drop, but in the rest of it, it's not fucking rocket science, like TBH, IMO. So when they then get really
Is there a kind of drag that you hate?
I think we've had this conversation before, but I think it's just like drag where I feel that not a lot of kind of thought or effort has been made. Or transversely, when like too much effort has been made and I'm still bored, that really frustrates me because
Ellie Diamond.
I don't like to say names, but I will agree with you on this occasion. She looks fantastic.
She ain't gonna see this. She's more famous than us. She's doing well on it.
She's doing very well, but like I don't really understand because it's very much like it's just an aesthetic to me. Like in the reading challenge, she was terrible. In the comedy challenges, she's been terrible. In the dancing, where she says like I'm a dancer, her dancing's always a little bit like it's not as sharp as she thinks it is. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. You need to find your lines, get your extensions.
Yeah, exactly. And like, and I don't fucking dance, so I don't say that I'm a dancer because I know that I would look worse than that.
Yeah, but you can pick up choreography pretty well. You're okay.
To a fashion.
Yeah.
There's that squeak.
There was my little tight puss.
My little toot. That was a queef, and I only laughed because it tickled.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think, but that's the thing as well. Like, I think I've spoken about this on this podcast before. When I was starting,
we've spoken about everything on this podcast before.
I'm just going to say it with my tits. Own the world. Yeah, like when I was starting out in drag, you didn't have a lot to go off. So like
you'd Google
and Jackie Beat had come up and then you'd do your best to copy that until you found what worked for you. But also like there's like I've been rewatching Evie Harris, Vala Jean Merman, Coco Peru, all of those.
You're my sister.
Yeah, Girls Will Be Girls. All of the stuff that used to come up when you typed drag queen in the internet. And they're so funny. Like if you've got Evie Harris is my fucking hero. And like, it's kind of reminded me a bit more about what I'm going for. Do you know what I mean?
And where you came from and then like, where you'd like to be headed back to.
Yeah, because like, for a while I was like, I'm a comedy queen. And like, but I'm not very funny.
Funny looking.
Yeah, so I just drink. So it's the same thing.
Sorry, excuse me.
Putting on a personality.
No, I do get what you mean though, because it's interesting that again going back to the whole idea of like LGBTQ history, it's now the idea that like the next generation are only going to go back so far and then go like, I'm done. And if they think that they just need to go back to like season 1 of RuPaul's Drag Race, and that's drag. That's far enough for me, because otherwise it's like a fucking old person story and I'm only like 17, and that's frightening to me.
Have you seen Priscilla? Have you seen To Wong Fu?
I think even just like beyond that, do you know what I mean? And then you have to get into the idea of like the full kind of scope of the community as well, because too many people also think that like LGBTQ history, they just kind of like, they go back to like the AIDS epidemic and then they talk about Oscar Wilde and then whatever, and you're just like, okay, well, excuse me now 1 second please, but in actual fact, like when it was the AIDS epidemic, it wasn't just gay men, it was also trans people, and also like lesbians were part of the community, so they were affected too, they were losing their friends. And then if you want to talk about Oscar Wilde, and then we need to discuss bi-erasure, because everyone automatically assumes that he is gay, whereas the argument is always no, he was bisexual. And it's the same with Freddie Mercury. Freddie Mercury was bisexual, but everybody always wants to say that he was gay because it's easier. I could go on, but I shan't. So
I'll drink to that.
I'll drink to that. So there's lots of different equations that go into it. You can't just like, it's not it's not a direct. I personally think as a queer person that you shouldn't just look at the direct linear of what concerns you. So you shouldn't just be looking at gay men and drag queens. You also have to think about the people that like fall on the, along your side if you were back in that certain time period.
Absolutely.
And I think that people are becoming like really blinkered to that because of things like RuPaul's Drag Race, like which is a blessing but also a curse, really.
Yeah, absolutely. You can have too much of a good thing. And I think that like
season 13 is going to go on until September because no one's going home. now they're having a season break unless you download the World of Wonder app and you can watch like what they got up to keep this whatever saving. I'm just like, who fucking cares? Just send some more queens home, crown a bitch and let's call it a day.
Yeah, exactly. So it's a balance, isn't it? Because we are very lucky to have that. Like,
of course.
I remember finding that as a kid.
So much so that we can take it for granted. Like,
yeah, exactly.
We take it for granted how much of a phenomenon it is because now it's just it's getting on our tits.
Yeah, exactly. Like I remember growing up and like finding it. I was like 10 years old, maybe.
Mind blown.
Yeah, finding it and watching it because it was like reruns of season 1 on Channel 5 or something at like midnight.
Yeah, filmed on a Betamax, VHS. Yeah. Vaseline on the lenses, love that.
Yeah, very that. And
people walked in looking like they just worked at Victoria Centre. That was their entrance look.
And I was like, these are women.
Yeah, exactly. And you lapped it up. You were just like, oh my God.
I ate that shit up.
Look at her, she looks incredible. And you're just like, she just looks like she's going to lunch.
But like sexy lunch.
Sexy lunch.
And like, as a kid, that was the first time I'd seen queer people on TV.
For real.
And then the second time I saw queer people on TV was Hollyoaks. Because there was that one gay character. And then who obviously had a nightmare of a storyline.
Yeah, I'm trying to think.
Was it EastEnders? I can't remember.
Tony and Martin on EastEnders had a gay kiss that notoriously got like just thousands and thousands of complaints from like Ofcom or whatever, just to be like, this is disgusting. I can't believe that you should, it was like Tiffany's brother and someone's, I don't know, something else, something wild. But no,
I was too busy blowing my dad to watch, but like,
you wouldn't let me face the screen, but I could hear it in the background. I think they're on a beach.
I heard a gasp.
I think the first queer person that I ever saw on TV was probably, I don't know, Velma from Scooby-Doo. maybe Patty from Peanuts. Was her name Patty or Marcy? I don't know. Which was which? You know the one who I mean though. Anyway, cool, great, thanks a lot.
And I think
Tinky Winky, they argued that Tinky Winky was the gay one. Willow from Buffy. Okay, that's a little bit more contemporary, she says, even though it started in like 99.
I know, but like back in the day, that was like, I used to feel uncomfortable when it was on TV because I was worried it was going to out me. Like, because I wasn't out, but like this was happening in my room and it would then cause the discussion. Do you know what I mean? And I was like,
well, that was the other thing as well, because before, up until a certain point, whenever you just had gay people on TV or like queer people on TV, it was always as a caricature of a queer person, so that it was sent up and it could be laughed at.
It's like I never knew Lily Savage was not a woman.
Well, same thing with Dame Edna. For so many years until someone finally told me, but then it doesn't really matter because Barry Humphries like isn't queer. He was dressing as a woman, so it's not really the same thing. Anyway, queer stuff, gay stuff.
Gay stuff. Queer.
We've come a like super like insanely like long way in a very short like space of time, which is wild because crazy. I mean, up until the point of Christianity and kind of like moral corruption, it wasn't a fucking issue to be a queer person whatsoever until a load of white men in stupid frocks decided.
And now people are arguing online as to why a potato can't be a binary creature.
Like, what was it?
Get a fucking hobby.
What was it that you said about it? Was just like, I can't believe that they've taken away Mrs. and Mrs. Potato Head. This is gender gone crazy.
Mr. and Mrs. Potato Head are now just Potato Head. You get all the accessories and you can do whatever you want with it, which arguably is more value for money and less packaging. Like,
Yeah.
Why are people so fucking stupid? Why are you breast?
Yeah.
And people were like, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, you know what else is genderless? A fucking potato!
A potato, exactly. Like, you've enforced a fucking gender onto something, and now that someone's taking it away again, it's a problem. Like, no, that's actually like homeostasis. It's going back to its natural state of not having a gender because it's a potato.
And also,
dress it
like,
up how you
Mrs.
want.
Potato Head just had a hat, a bow, some lipstick, and some eyelashes. Like, she didn't have a vagina.
Her hat had a flower.
And women don't always have vaginas. And like, a bow does not a woman make. Like, why is this Mrs. Potato Head? Like, get fucked.
Yeah, for real. Do you want to know something like really, really cool? Like really super cool. That
Did you go out and buy one?
No, something that I thought was absolutely amazing is my friend who's like raising her kids to have like all of the awareness of like the gender and sexuality spectrum and about race and gender, like the lot, making sure that like, okay, next generation, get this right.
Yeah, you know what that's called? Parenting.
But so her daughter had like a unicorn and gave it like a lady's name, and then looked at the unicorn and was like, oh, it's got like a little bing bong, like it's got a little or whatever. But then like the cogs turned in her head and she's just like, oh, I don't really care, girls can still have willies. And I was just like, yes. That's exactly as it should be.
And the whole of our generation just starts slow clapping.
That's exactly what you need.
Yeah.
Also, have you heard like a bing bong and footsteps in the background? I think that some posters just arrived, and I should probably
if you heard
go
something
see.
happening, I'm being robbed.
Could you imagine if I just went out like this and was just like, good morning.
Hello. Can I help you with something?
She said hello, hi.
Hello, hi.
Oh, I have, however, finished my drink and finished my rant. So I don't know about you, honey, but I feel like we solved LGBTQ history today.
Yeah. We now cured homophobia from the planet.
Yeah, exactly.
Homophobia, transphobia, it's all gone.
Katie homophobia. I mean, everyone is just fine now.
Yeah, Katie homophobia is slain.
Everything and everyone is going to be okay. We fixed it, Marilyn.
We fixed it. Oh my God. Good for us. Go us. Yeah.
Oh God.
If you're out there and you're struggling, just reach out to the people you can. If you don't have that, then get online right now. This will pass. There will be more space. There will be more spaces. Also, there will be more spaces.
There shall. It is a double-edged sword that, like, I'm not saying that because the internet and social media is a cesspit from hell that you should ever isolate yourself from your community. You should still, like, you got to dangle your hooks to catch some octopus or whatever it is that you're looking for.
You can stop at any time. That's the good thing about the internet. You can just put it down. Walk away. Walk away from the people who are getting mad about potatoes.
Potatoes.
It's fucking. Oh, I was livid. I found myself gravitating towards the comments as if to be like, "Let's get in here," and then being like, "No, I don't have to do this.
Did you?
I can walk away."
What's that Sean Barry Parsons character like that's based on his mum, the Camilla, who's just like, "This is good. This is good." Facebook.
Yeah.
Oh my God, the mom commented, "Happy birthday." That's not even her birthday.
Yeah. Very that energy.
Stay away from the comments. Never read the comments.
Yeah, stay away from the comments unless, like, I don't know, you want to fight.
Yeah, it's like my friend tweeted the other day that it was just like a screenshot that the word trans was trending again, and they were just like, "Can we just have a fucking day where we just fucking don't, please?" Yeah,
can I like kiss my boyfriend without it being a political statement?
Oh, absolutely. I just want to walk like hand in hand with my husband in the street and have a brick thrown at me because I'm ugly, not because I'm gay.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? I see that for you.
But yeah, thank you so much again for tuning into the Unnamed Drag podcast. We've had a wonderful time talking about LGBTQ history in a very sloppy, very personalized matter. So take everything that we've said, obviously, with a pinch of salt, and go and do your own fucking go and do your own fucking research. Go and educate yourself about these matters, because we could really do a series about this, not just one-off podcast, obviously.
Yeah, and also we're speaking on the stuff that we have direct
the things that we have a right to, not a right to, but a thing that we, can comment on. Yeah, exactly. A right to comment on. I went full.
I have a right.
I went full white man about that.
As a white straight man, I just want to wade in here. Like, fuck off.
Yeah, okay. I mean, I may look like a Karen, but inside. Oh God! And on that horrible, disgusting note, I'm going to bid you adieu and
from me and my breast. Have a wonderful time
and a very happy rest of LGBTQ History Month, because we only get a fucking month and it expires today. Bye.
We love you. Bye.
Unnamed Drag Podcast.